Good morning, everybody. Thank y'all so much for coming. Take the time out of your day today. We really appreciate you coming over. Of course, I'm Chief Davis, Jason Earl Davis. I'm so glad to meet you all. Don't get confused with Mr. Russell Davis. He's the better Davis. I'm picking up his slack. It's just so good to have you all here, and a very important meeting that we need to have as far as the season that we're in when it comes to hurricane preparedness. Real quick, before we go any further, a lot of you might be like I am, might not know everybody in the room, so I'll give everybody an opportunity to introduce yourself and your agency or department that you're with, and we'll jump right into this so we can get you back on your day, okay? So I guess we'll start over on this side.
I'll begin with some of the mayor's office.
Rules today is clear. Clear. Good. No power incarcerated. Very important.
Henry W. Manning, Chief Your Mark on this one.
Right now, Chief Police.
Judy Steen, Agent Jason.
Marcus Chattock, Planning Director, Jackson County.
Bruce Runner, Building Official, Jackson County.
Sam Franklin, Actualization.
Yes, sir.
Jeremy Sumner, Education.
Kenny Dunn, Chief of All Point School District Campus Police.
Killer Liverette, Osborne School District Maintenance Department.
Oswego Barber, Superintendent, Montgomery School District.
Stand.
Me,
Yes, ma'am.
Tricia Dickman, City Clerk.
Outstanding. Outstanding, of course, and I'm Chief Davis, Baltimore Fire. And, so, we getting ready to jump into this real quick. I don't know, I heard somebody ask me earlier, was this very similar to the meeting that was over in Pascagoula earlier? How long ago was that?
Let's got the one for that.
Okay. These handouts might be familiar, but this year is the first one that, to my knowledge, of course, we're doing here at Crosspoint. I see all the partners in here, which is very good. I thank you all for coming in and being a part of this partnership when it comes to hurricane preparedness. Hurricanes, we just happen to live in the best spot. We have the best recipe for a hurricane to actually affect us, or any disaster event to take place. And here in Moss Point, if anybody is familiar with dealing with disasters, just a year ago, we had the tornado. So we want to make sure that we do some meetings to make sure that we are all pulling in the same direction, trying to accomplish the same thing. Because after all, we want to make sure that our citizens and our beautiful city is taken care of. Okay, so we're gonna jump in real quick. So we're gonna be talking about three things today. We're gonna pretty much talk about preparing the public, preparing your personnel, and also preparing your people. These things right here, these three P's always have to be very important when it comes to storm events or disaster events. The public is not notified in time or prepared. We're going to have more activities for police department, fire department, and also the EMS services job is going to be much harder. And a lot of it is because people are just not prepared or informed. So a good time for the school system, because I say that with all respect, your numbers are sort of down during the summertime, but unfortunately hurricane season is still right on through June to November. So it's good that we're on the front end of it right now. So your personnel is very important, because personnel, you have some that are essential and some that are not essential when it comes to these events. Some don't have to come in, some is not dependent on it to show up, and then you have some that need to be there. Then we're going to talk about, as far as your equipment and property, and that's pretty much going to get into whether you have generator backup, make sure your generators are ready, make sure your equipment is ready, whether you got have equipment to move trees, whether you got to have equipment just to respond with, what the school buses are available. We just got to talk about a lot. And I'm glad that you all are here as partners. So, with preparing the public, we really need to look at early notification, and it's many ways or means that the public get information when it comes to a storm. They have a weather channel. A lot of people that have TVs do watch that, or they have the app on their phone. The weather channel is sort of the national level or the world level. They can see what's going on. But then we have our local media outlets. And it's very important that we put out the right information when it comes to our city and early with it, because these are some very, very good liaisons and partners when it comes to the media, you know, the local media. We have some people wait on that time for WOX to come on or Fox 25 to come on. They want to see it and hear it. But if they know what's going on in Moss Point, alerts that we're putting out, or being informed what the meteorologists are putting out, then they're preparing themselves for an event that might occur. Then you have your county alert updates. It's ease on in, closer to us. You have your city alert updates. And since we have different agencies in here, I want to just poll the room real quick. As far as the school system, do you all have a text alert or something that you can notify all your people with a tap?
We do. We have various modalities, but the main hub basically comes out of communications department.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Chief Ashley, y'all have something that you can notify all your people?
City does, I believe.
We have, on the website, residents can sign up for notifications through RSS. We send out messages that way. Jesse is our marketing and social media.
Yeah, digital marketing.
Yeah, so he does all the postings on social media and the website, but we do send out for everyone who is signed up to receive text messages through the website. We send out RSS messages.
That's limited to 500 people. We've got like 167.
Outstanding.
And Human Resources is working on a text alert system for employees and staff.
Okay. Outstanding. Outstanding. Katie, do you all have anything where you can get all your people on tap and let them know what's going on?
Yeah, active alert.
Active alert, you have something in place. Yeah, so we already sort of have, anybody else have anything in place that you want to share?
And I do think countywide that they're working on an alert system, especially since the tornado. I know there have been talks about a county alert system. But I don't know where that is right now, but there have been talks.
So our goal, of course, is to have something that everybody in here can get something at the same time. So don't take this time, make this time with this another meeting, but we want to come out of this meeting with it where, you know, if something needs to be put out, it can be put out to all the players, which is very important. So early notification is very important. You know, one of the things I remember from Katrina is, you know, still walking the streets, I had people telling me that I just didn't know that it was that close, or I didn't know this, I didn't know that. So only if I would have known. So, you know, we do our hardest to get out and make sure people know whether it's electronically or whether it's door to door. It's very important that we do early notification. So prepare the public when it comes to letting them know what they actually need, because some people have to evacuate, some people have to go to shelters, some people they have, depends on whatever prescription they have for their situation. It's things that they need to be thinking about. Even, you know, you share this with your employees, your co-workers, your family. This is just something that we want to get out, you know, because I get asked often, hey, what do I need to get? You know, and it's real simple stuff that we have already laying around sometimes, but sometimes we don't when we need it the most. Like extra clothes, flashlight, battery operated radio, non-perishable food, cell phone, first aid kit, important documents. It's very important that we get those medications, pet medication supplies, electronic chargers, batteries, a little extra cash, safety whistle. It's very important when first responders are looking, trying to find them. You know, safety whistle come in handy, and a bottle of water. So it's just a little kit that they can put in play. When it comes to the responsibilities of the citizens, you know, I don't want to, I guess, have spoil people around. I want to make sure that we have input and also have interaction with our citizens, with our employees, with our coworkers when it comes to just taking initiative and doing their part. And some of that part is they need to pretty much identify their respective flood zones. Mark, is there a way, I might be asking the wrong one, you can go rock up and hit me. The public can access flood zones, to identify what flood zone you're in.
Absolutely, we have Jackson County web mapping system, which you can access online. It'll tell you all the flood zones in the county, the cities, everything.
Okay, yeah, because one thing I do know is that here in the city of Moss Point, there are some areas that are prone to flood. So it's very important, and that's an area that I'll be working Rich really hard, trying to make sure we get notifications in those areas so they can move and also be aware of that. So I might be tapping on the shoulder if somebody's trying to get there. Identify your local shelters. This is very important. When it comes to our local shelters, the key word is local. There's 3 shelters that I'm aware of in Jackson County, and neither one of them happen to be in Boston. So it's very important that we sit here a minute and try to come up with a game plan. It's important that we have a place for short-term shelter. For instance, if we have an area that's flooding, or we have an area that just experienced a small, I would say a spout came down and poured from a small area where we got to move people to a short-term shelter area before they go to long-term. We want to dangly, so much more long-term, but we need somewhere like a little holding area where we can move from one place to the next. So I'm depending on our partners when it comes to, maybe churches that might have a family life center that's big enough, or maybe Pelican Land, or maybe the school. You all have like areas, gymnasium is ideal for. Is that something that we can sort of look at and think about as far as that go? I know that sometimes the biggest thing on the schools mind is getting people out of the school. We don't want people at the school. But when we have an event that occur late in the evening, early in the morning, first responders, when it comes to fire department, police department, it's important that we have a place where we can get people to a safe place for short term, and not to try to bring up a place for them to stay for a long term, but to get them sort of out of the dangerous environment. Dr. Hoffman, you all like be a liaison when it comes to that.
Turn our wheels and work together.
I appreciate that. That's really good to you. Pelican Land, be a partner when it comes to that. Thank you. Get people over there.
Yeah.
Okay. So if sidebar needs to be happening, anybody else have any other places you think about short term?
Yeah, there's the church, New Horizons, up on 63. They're going pretty good what to do. It's like 5 minute drive. But they've got a huge parking lot and a pretty big facility, and they're pretty good at helping us. I mean, I used to live in Patterson, but he passed away, but I can check with him.
Okay. Outstanding. Yeah, our church is going to be very good partners when it comes to that. But remember, it's important that we try to find somewhere that's sort of close before we move out too far, because it's going to be probably first responders sheltering them there and bring them back. So we're going to need those teams back in place as soon as possible. And Acadian would have to know what they can get people there and bring them back. So it's going to be all hands on deck when it comes to that. So good, we'll talk more about that. Identify sandbag pickup locations. I've been talking to the city clerk and Earl Etheridge about this, because this is very important. If you're having flood-prone areas, then the citizens are going to need sandbags. There's no doubt. But it's very important that we get out to them the location for sandbag pickup. It's very important we let them know. You gotta bring some. It's gonna be on you. We'll put the sand there, but you're gonna have to make sure you are sending somebody that's capable of filling the sandbags up. because police officers are gonna be busy doing stuff, firefighters are gonna be busy doing stuff. So it's very important that you bring somebody, Parks and Rec's gonna be busy, Public Works is gonna be busy doing stuff, and Floyd's been like that. But the sandbag locations, the previous, my understanding is, has been at one of the fire stations, and then it's pretty much whatever is designated for those areas, but it's very important for us to get them out to the public so they'll know exactly where the pickup locations are at. So we want to work hard with Public Works and whoever else that is involved with that, so we'll make sure we get those out. But also it's their responsibility to secure their homes and personal property. If we notify them about sandbags, we notifying them about the shelters, and we notify them about flood zones, it's very important that we notify them that, hey, you need to make sure that you're doing your part when it comes to your home. You can't go get flood insurance when something is in the gov, so it's very important you do that early on. If you don't want your windows and line agree to get your windows, you might want to go ahead and pull it up. It's nothing that we say you've got to do, but it's something that we can do as a courtesy and suggest that. The flooding, when you look at it, there's a little snippet peek of the Moss Point area. Some of what we see here, I know Marcus is probably look familiar to you, like a bunch of colors probably to some people. But my understanding, what I've been hearing, and Chief Ashley, I'm sure you probably can. Do you remember any other flood areas that might be prone to flood with heavy rain and stuff that you all might be aware of?
That's who's out east of Creole.
Yeah, east of Creole.
I know the street.
Mm-hmm.
Rose Drive. Rose Drive, west of Creole.
Rose Drive, I've been hearing a lot of. So, and those people, they probably be getting a visit from the fire department, from myself, making sure that they understand that we want you to get to higher ground as soon as possible, where we don't have to come in and get you out, because at some point when flooding starts, and of course in a hurricane situation, when winds get so high, we can't respond to certain things. So we'll make sure that we're very important, very clear about that. And we was talking about the sandbag locations. This one is sort of where the main station, Station 1, let me see if this thing, maybe not. It's right there. It's where normally sandbags be, right in the back of Station 1 by the police department and the fire station there. But we can space those out in different areas that's identified, Public Works and city administration. What we feel is the best place that's going to work for the best. Of course, you don't want to put them in a flood area that's going to flood, but you do want to put them where they can go and access and try to secure their stuff. Well, this is our little list for 2024. So, and we just on number 2. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
We're already 2 now.
And she's upset for some reason because she's growing and growing and growing. And I'm thankful that it's staying sort of away and the track is favorable to us right now. But things can change. But we'll be prepared, and that's the good thing. We'll be prepared. But we got a long way to go because normally these storms, the major storms, don't show up until August, September timeframe. But she's coming in a little early, being a major Cat 5, I think, right now, and that's a little early for when you look at the history of the hurricane season. So this is unusual, but the water is warm and a lot is happening. So we will be prepared. So we want to make sure that we encourage our personnel, our subordinates, our employees, people that we work with to see. We want to make sure that they stay ready. If we stay ready, we don't have to get ready. We stay prepared. We don't have to try to catch up on stuff. So when you look at it real quick, it's our responsibility to identify our non-essential versus essential personnel, and give early notices, where they'll know that, hey, I'm depending on you to be here. You're going to be part of our, mediation team. we need you here. I think it goes without saying that first responders already know that it's going to be all hands on deck. We've been having our interdepartmental briefings when it comes to hurricane or fire department already. All 3 shifts has been briefed initially, first time, but when something actually gets involved, we'll have meetings after meetings, depending on, the speed of the storm. And I would encourage you all to do the same thing. But some things to think about when it comes to non-essential personnel, they work on hours, day-to-day functions. They don't play an immediate role in emergency situations after hour events or what have you. And that individual probably don't need to have the keys that you're gonna need when it's an emergency situation, you know what I'm saying, or the access or what have you. But who need to have those things or those phones or the numbers, the contact information, is the essential personnel. Of course, there's public safety personnel and other personnel who are key players in mediating the emergency or the state emergency incident. So just be thinking of that. Staying ready, you as essential personnel, we need to make sure that we storm-proof our own homes and secure our own homes, because it's a possibility that when something do occur, something ended up, you might be gone for a little bit of time. I think we all are familiar with that. Encourage them to make plans for their pets and their family. That's very important. When you are out here and getting ready for a storm, and this is where we want to have a state of readiness, we want to make sure that we, first of all, be safe at all times. Just because we are going through a event or what have you, we want to make sure that we be safe, make good decisions at all times. We're here together. We're gonna get through whatever we're dealing with, but also we want to make sure that we make good decisions. When it comes to just driving through deep water, sometimes people feel they can get through water. They feel like, hey, I can get through that. You don't have to do that. Make sure that you make the call so we can get you what you need before you get in that situation. It's difficult when we have to rescue our own people because we're pulling away from other resources. Make sure that we make the decision when it comes to that. Document and log all appropriate information. All appropriate information needs to be documented. I can't say it enough. Documentation. When we're having a storm event or something like that come through, at the end of the day, funding is very important, but your documentation is more important. And if it's not documented when it comes to your participation in it and what you have done, make sure that you document everything. And that's not your work hours and time, but also it's when it comes taking photos of your city property or your agency property. Make sure you take photos of the property prior to the event and your equipment, vehicles, exterior and interior. If you have something that look this way, and I'm telling you, after a storm, it can look a whole lot different. But photographs are very important. Fill all your fuel tanks, including your vehicles and your generators. Make sure all those are done. We just want to be in a state of readiness. Come hot July, hot August, super September, we don't want to be, setting on E when it comes to our generators or water per tank, because we don't know when a storm can hit. We want to make sure that we're prepared. You want around your agency or your building, make sure they're secure all those items and porches. That's all porches in the parking lot. It's on the lawns. Make sure that you pick up, clean up, make sure things are secure, because we want to make sure that we're ready for it. So that's going to save you, and that's also going to save your employees.
Can I add one thing?
Yes, ma'am.
As far as documentation goes, Dr. Harper can attest the tornado has taught us again, it's been a while since we had a real disaster, but you need to keep your documentation with the expectation that these are documents that you're gonna have to have regarding reimbursements, your insurance and all of that. So documentation is very important because it's the difference between getting none of that for reimbursement and not getting money back.
That's it.
The rules are changing daily. So if you don't have your documentation ready or you don't have something, you just may not get reimbursement for it. So make sure that all your documentation, your paperwork, your insurance, all of that is up to date and in order and accessible, because the next day they're going to be here. And if it's a countywide emergency, they'll be here the next day. So you're going to want to start going around taking pictures with your employees, getting documentation that way. And then they're going to sit down in your conference room and sit there and go over all the documentation that they need. And it's overwhelming. But if you have all that stuff ready, it's not a tall task to take care of. So just make sure that your documentation, whoever is gathering that for whatever agency you are, is very important, despite your agency getting reimbursed for the money that they're putting out.
That's so true. You know, it's within the fire department for us, every emergency call that we respond to, every time the tire road, there's a certain form that has to be filled out. And it's filled out on our everyday normal forms or reports. That's not going to get us any kind of funding, but we got to make sure we do it on the actual fund, the forms that's been used. She made me think of something. Everybody's sort of familiar with how the sandbag, sand being placed out work as far as the wheels starting to roll. I want to just, because I don't want Dr. Hop to be riding around saying, why are you putting no sand out yet? He out there talking about all the sand. Well, why are we not doing it? Well, everything sort of flows from uphill to downhill, but then it flips around and comes downhill up. So just give you an idea of sort of how that works. The state of emergency has to be declared. And then once it's declared, it works its way down to the county declaring state of emergency. And then once the county declares state of emergency, of course, the city declares a state of emergency. And that has to be sent out back to the county, goes all the way up to the state, to the point that, but that's when the stuff starts happening, if that makes any sense. Right now, what happens is we are preparing for it and we're going to be ready for it. And I don't think the administration here is going to be slow when it comes to declaring a state of emergency when it's necessary. And I'm sure that paperwork is going to get there pretty fast, but they get the wheels turning. So I don't want you all to think that nothing is happening. But state of emergency declaration is so important, so important. So it is very important that we put that in mind. Security and cover necessary windows and doors. When a storm happened, I remember walking through after several storms, and people's homes be wide open because the windows being burst, doors being blown open for different reasons, what have you. And it don't just be for that next day. Sometimes it be for the next 3 and 4 days, to the point where we have the code enforcement involved, trying to help secure homes, trying to get people to make sure they order their homes and stuff like that. So it's very important that we, as a team, make sure that we make stuff work. And I believe that we can do it, and I know that we can do it all together. We just got to keep communicating and keep talking. And if you need anything, I want you to know that the fire department is here. I'm available to you to assist in any kind of way. And I really appreciate you all being here and being available to me. My contact information is right here. If y'all need anything, if you have any questions, if I don't have it in my pocket, I probably know somebody who do have it, and I'll try to make sure that we get what we need for you to feel more comfortable at your agency or at your department, so that we can be ready to move forward if any event occurs. This, of course, is hurricane preparedness but also tornadoes, tropical storms. It is very important that we work together to make sure that everybody is safe. All our citizens, like when the school is back in, tornadoes and stuff like that. I want to be your first partner there to make sure that you got everything you need. I don't mind coming in and briefing your staff or whatever is needed. We want to make sure that everybody is prepared to deal with whatever come out. Is there any questions or any other comments that you'd like to share? I really appreciate all of you being here. And like I say, we're going to be depending on you all to make it happen. Moving a lot of people is difficult. Sometimes what come in handy is a good old school bus. Coach Transit used to work with us when it came to that. But it's a safe way to move people that's soaking wet and doing stuff. We'll be in touch when it comes to that kind of stuff. All right. Well, that's all I have. If anybody don't have any questions or anything, we are good. Thank y'all so much for coming through.
Thank you.